Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pretty Joker here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be ranking what I watched in February. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, particularly a year ago, last February I did a little thing called Animated Film February. I wanted to continue it. Unfortunately, some of my other hobbies got into the way of this one. You know, my classes have been really kicking up last month, and the Oscar race, so this wasn't the best month to do animated movies, and I honestly didn't even watch that many movies this month, but I hit 10, which is always my goal, so we're just gonna talk about them. So yeah, let's just get started with the ranking. Alrighty, so coming in at number 10 is Three Colors White. I watched the trilogy, the Three Colors trilogy. I'm not even gonna begin to try to pronounce the director's name because it's just gonna be a total butcher of it if I try. But long story short, I just really didn't think this was all that engaging. Our main protagonist here is easily the worst one in the trilogy. In fact, he's kind of miserable to watch and super annoying. And I just don't think this one is nearly as interesting as the other two. It does have decent themes and the ending's pretty good, but for the most part, I just found myself pretty uninterested. Alright, number 9 is going to be Nickel Boys. We just got, the Oscars. They were on last night at the time of me filming this. Anora won. I don't know why I'm bringing up Anora. But Nickel Boys was nominated for Best Picture. Probably also should have been nominated for cinematography, even though I still would have thought Brutalist was better. But anyways, this movie is just really good. It's good. Our two central performances here are great, and their characters are really, really well thought out. And I really like the central story here. Unfortunately, this movie's main gimmick is the fact that it is filmed entirely through a first-person perspective, which honestly dampens my ability to get emotionally engaged or even just remotely engaged in what's going on at times. I just think the story could have been told better through normal, third-person POV film, personally. And that's just me. I thought this was a good film, and I love and respect its ambition, but it just wasn't for me. Alright, number 8, Three Colors Blue. This is usually seen as a very, very good movie, and I thought it was decent. I liked it. There were things I really liked. I loved its themes. I thought, its subject of grief was handled really well, and there were a lot of devastating moments. I honestly just kind of found this one to be a bit, boring? Oh, dude, I totally just now realized I should have done, my vinyls as blue, white, and red. But I don't really have a red vinyl, so it doesn't really, anyways. Because I got blue up there for Joni Mitchell, I just realized. Anyways, I just found this movie to be boring. I thought there were very, very slow moments at times. Just sort of a boring movie. By the end, I wasn't nearly as moved or touched as I thought I would be. It ended, and I was like, oh, yeah, that was a sad movie, but it was good. It was fine. The performance was good. It was a movie. I don't know, it's just me. A lot of people seem to love it. All right, number 7, What Did Jack Do? I put a 19-minute short film about a monkey talking over three colors, blue and white. Look, I just love David Lynch. And I know I said I'd get the David Lynch ranking video. I did my Mario 64 video, I did the vinyl. It's too many videos for 1 month. We gotta space them out, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this won't be in the list, but I do just think this is such a charming, fun, cute, hilarious little short film that it just goes to show the power of filmmaking. Like, how far can you take little ideas like that? And I just found this to be super fun. Alrighty, number 6 is going to be Memoir of a Snail. I actually checked out every single Best Picture or Best Animated Feature nominee, and this is probably my second least favorite of the bunch. And that is not to say that this is a bad movie by any means. In fact, I think this category of animated films have been the strongest batch of animated films nominated in a long time. I mean, every single film is a 4 out of 5 or higher. My least favorite, Inside Out 2, is still really, really good. And if you even check out my top 10 movies of 2024, was an honorable mention on my top 10. But anyways, this film, Memoir of a Snail, really does hit it hard in the devastation. This movie is just, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty exhausting watch at times. And there are things I don't like about it. There are some plot lines that I do think meander quite a while that I don't think really needed to. Like, I think Gilbert's whole section in the middle of the movie is kind of dragged out a little bit too long at times. But I do think this movie is just really good. It's funny, but also very dark. And it also has the best ending of all 5 animated movies in this category. And honestly, probably one of the best endings to any animated film I've seen in quite a while. I was incredibly moved. It was a very satisfying conclusion, and I really, really liked this movie. All right, number 5, The Brutalist. This is a bit of a behemoth to talk about. Everyone seems to be talking about The Brutalist now. But yeah, it's The Brutalist. It is a very massive project. Its scale is unmatched by almost anything I've ever seen. Adrien Brody is so good. He makes Laszlo feel like genuinely a real person and makes us feel like a biopic. And while we'll get to another performance higher up on this list that I kind of wanted it to win the Oscar just a little bit more, but I'm not upset at Adrien Brody winning this award at all. I think he totally deserved it. Would have liked to see maybe Felicity Jones win there over Zoe Saldana, but you know, it's fine. But this winning cinematography and score, totally deserved. Nothing to say there. This was one of the best looking films of the year. Beautiful score. Yeah. And anybody complaining about this being boring, I was never bored. In fact, part 1 was genuinely some of the best filmmaking I have ever seen in my entire life. Part 1 was genuinely flawless in my eyes. And then of course, as everyone talks about, that part 2 gets super messy. The ending feels super inconclusive, especially some of the arcs and developments. And it leaves me feeling not as moved and left me feeling a bit empty when those credits started to roll, when after 3.5 hours, you would kind of expect to feel incredibly moved by the end. And I just wasn't. With that being said though, part 1 was still perfect, and I did really enjoy a lot of this movie. But man, there are some faults in that second half, which I can't just forget about. Alrighty, number 4, Flow. This took home the Best Animated Feature win. And you know, I'm not upset by that at all, because this is one of the most ambitious, one of the most creative and fun films I've seen in a while. This little small group of indie animators winning over the big studio hit that is The Wild Robot, which, you know, I was still kind of rooting for. I'm not gonna lie, Wild Robot really touched me. But, you know, I'm not upset with Flow winning at all. The fact that they are able to give each of these animals super distinct personalities is just so charming. Like, each animal, you can really just you feel like you can understand them by the end. And it's just really cute, and it's charming, and it's adorable, and it's Flow. It's great. Everyone loves it. I don't know. I'm happy this won, to be honest. Number 3 is going to Three Colors Red. Easily the best in the trilogy. Super complex in its themes, and super great performances all around, and has a really tight-knit plot. This thing flew by compared to the other two, which I felt like the other two kind of dragged out. This one was really well paced in my opinion. I also love the ending here, because it kind of ties everything in super indirectly, but super directly at the same time. This is just like some genius filmmaking, if you ask me. Just such a deep dive into humans. And you know, why humans are humans. That's the best way. Humans. We are humans. And this movie explores that, and I love it. Number 2 is going to The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Cherbourg? Cherbourg? I don't know. Might not have been my favorite of the month, but I can safely say this is one of the best films I have ever seen in my entire life. Without this movie, I don't think like a lot, La La Land probably wouldn't exist, because Damien Chazelle, I think I read that this movie was a huge influence on La La Land, and everybody seems to love La La Land. But this is just as good, maybe better. What's so genius about this film is that it kind of sneaks its way into you. It's like super fun and whimsy and fantastical with the singing and the beautiful colors. I mean, good Lord, this movie looks gorgeous. And then it slowly turns into one of the most tragic stories that I've seen in a while. But because of its gimmick and its musical and it's entirely sung, it doesn't really hit you until after the movie finishes and you're like, wow, oh, that was rough. Because at the same time, feeling all this whimsy, it still feels incredibly grounded. And that's what's so brilliant about it. I had an absolute blast watching this. I went into this not even knowing it was a musical, let alone there was no spoken dialogue. It was all singing. So about like 15 minutes in, I was like, oh God, am I gonna like this? And then it kept going and I was like, okay, yep, I'm starting to really understand this film. And then by the end, I kind of loved it. Now again, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but again, like I said at the beginning of the segment, I do actually believe this to be one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's gorgeous, it's stunning, it's captivating, it's engaging, it's never boring. I loved it. Number 1 is Sing Sing. Yeah, it's Sing Sing. It's not even close. The fact that this did not pick up a Best Picture nomination, along with A Real Pain, but even more so this one, because this hit me incredibly hard. This is such a powerful film, and I freaking loved it. Colman Domingo. Why was he not, like, at least winning one of these awards? Like, any of them. He could have won a Golden Globe or, you know, the SAG, but I'm glad Chalamet won that one. The critics, maybe, like, he could have won something, and he didn't, and I'm real upset about that because, man, he delivers so many devastating moments, but also so many powerful moments and sincere moments, and I just freaking love him in this movie. It's truly just a beautiful film about, you know, the power of theater and reformity, and it's just so darn good. This was undeniably my favorite film of the month, and it moved me beyond belief, and it just hit me like a brick, if I'm being honest with you. And I wish this got nominated for more. I wish it took home at least something, but it, you know, it's the Oscars, so, you know. Amelia Perez, best song, El Mal, yeah, whatever. All right, now we're gonna be doing the rewatches. This is 2 movies, so we're gonna do these pretty quick. Number 2 is Blue Velvet. I rewatched this for my David Lynch video. It definitely increased on my radar. Still not my favorite David Lynch. I think its placement actually might surprise some people how low it actually is. But people gotta understand David Lynch is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time now. And, you know, I do think this is a genius film, and I love so much about it. And, like, the performances, its story, Frank Booth, I mean, good Lord, come on. But, you know, it's not my favorite thing in the world. And it honestly, weirdly enough, has like one of his happiest endings, which is kind of weird for a David Lynch film. But you know what? I wasn't complaining. I had a great time with this on rewatch. And number 1 is Punch Drunk Love. It's still in my top 10 favorite films of all time. I watched it for Valentine's Day, and I think this is perfect. Adam Sandler is so freaking good in this. You buy every single minute of his performance, and it's PTA's best film. I'm sorry. Another reason why I wasn't watching a lot of movies this month is because I rewatched Twin Peaks, the whole thing. The show, which I'm still standing at a 4.5, because I skipped. My family watched it because I told them to watch it, and they started watching it, and I skipped the part of season 2, so it was a bit better, but yeah, I still 4.5. And then of course The Return. I actually missed a bit of The Return, but I watched like the whole second half of it with them, like past episode 8 and up. I watched all of it with them, and it's so perfect. I can't even express how good The Return is. It is flawless, in my opinion. I love every single second of that season. It's so peak. I love it. And that's what I watched in February. I know I told you a short month, so yeah, we're gonna be doing a couple things moving forward. We're gonna be doing, hopefully, my Super Mario 64 stage ranking. You guys seem to like the star ranking. That's doing a lot better than I thought it was gonna do, which I'm very glad, because I spent like 9 hours making that video, that was one of the hardest videos I've ever made. So when it was getting like 20 views in the first like day, I was like, oh man. And then my final collection got like 300 in like the first day, and I was like, bro, I literally spent like 20 minutes on that video. Anyways, it doesn't matter, because you guys seem to like that video now, which I'm very happy about. I want to do the David Lynch ranking, and now I am gonna do Sean Baker as well. He only has like 7 movies, so we're gonna do Sean Baker because he just won Best Director. And we'll see how that goes, because I've only seen 2 of them, and both of them, I think they're just good. So we'll see. But yeah, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, of course, if you want to. I'm not your dad, I don't really care. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, or whenever you're watching this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.